Alrighty, lads, we are here. Week 6. We got a bit of sleep, so we're looking good. We're up against Ted. We've got the team here. I'm going to dump the Terra types in as a GLHF before running through completing the preparations. Ted is still selecting the stuff. Doesn't change what I'm going to bring, so I don't mind sending that through. We finalized the team a little bit ago, so we'll see how that ends up. Alrighty, and we see that there. So there's Crabrawler, Noibat, Flabebe, Sandale, Mareepa, and Bulbasaur from what has been sent through. So immediately no Vulpix, which means we don't necessarily need the Cloud 9 on the Swablu, which is fine. Makes me think of what could be there in regards to everything else. But I will be doing the same thing as I do. Just taking notes of items and whatnot. Orange for Bebe, excellent choice, excellent choice. We a very underrepresented for Bebe color, so you know what, we'll take it. I think with what stands here for us in regards to a lead, there's no fake out rate. So I am kind of a fan of just leading the Diglett and the Snivy with like Espurr and the Sotodle in game 1. Would like to find out where the Scarf is. There could be a Scarf Pokemon that is a little bit deceptive and gets the jump on Espurr, because Espurr naturally outspeeds the entire team. Ted did bring the Tailwind support in the Noibat as well, but hopefully we should be able to manage that just fine. And we will kind of see where we want to go in that regard as well, as our preparations being made now. So I'm thinking, right, because I don't think Flabebe gets Trick Room. We should be pretty open to be able to just rip open, like, just a Bulldoze and an attack. And getting the Terrestrialization on Superior, depending on how it goes. So this could just potentially be a Fake Out and, or like a Tailwind and a Protect is a possibility here. Do I have Taunt on my guy? Okay, so that's Frisk, so they found good information here. We do have Taunt on Snivy as well. Snivy, I don't think we actually outspeed the Noibat. I think we are a bit slower than it. So if it's max speed, it definitely just does get that attack off. So what I do still want to do, though, I still probably do want to go for a... It's calling a turn down the line here, right? Because with Tailwind up, things look pretty bad. But if it's Sash, that's also, like, not amazing either. Didn't change the moves around on the Superior. Not the best look, but I think I'm going to throw just a Taunt into that slot and see where that goes. So yeah, the Protect comes out there, turn 1. Really good stuff for us. Which means we can probably have a look. If it's fast enough, we do potentially get a flinch there. Unfortunately, not the case, which is a bit rough. Which means in the future, we may potentially do need to go for an alternative play on that. But we do have the Noibat taunted now as well. So there's not really good counterplay in terms of like necessarily stalling the Tailwind, so to speak. There is, like, Terra on the Diglett, but that really doesn't get us a lot of mileage. I think I'm probably just going to go for the Iron Head again. And I don't think we Terra anything in the back, but I also don't think we Terra Snivy at the moment, so I will probably just go for a Leaf Storm, just be a little bit more on the aggressive there. Air Slash coming there onto the side, we're doing like really big damage, actually. We're still faster than the Crabrawler in Tailwind with the Scarf Diglett there, which is good to know. Didn't reveal anything there. There's just a double in on the Snivy, which is perfectly fine. I think if we Terra, that plus the Culber Berry, and, like, not being weak to, the thing is probably fine. I think now we go into... I think we go into Sototl here. Dun-Dun's coming here. That's the Sandale. Okay. So, Sandale is a minor inconvenience, especially with that Intimidate. Getting that attack drop is pretty rough. We can Terastallize the Diglett and potentially protect with the Sototl as well. To potentially store, like, another turn of Tailwind. And then they both probably get sacked at that point, to be honest. So, I think maybe with this, I think we still just swing an Iron Head at the Sandile. And I think then for the last turn of... And then I think we just go into Espurr. And then I think on the last turn of Tailwind, we kind of just double protect. I think it was Biddy, because there was discussion on how fast we needed to make the Snivy. So there's a dodge on the rock side there on the switching, which is kind of nice. And Diglett takes that well. We get the Iron Head off. Good little bit of damage there, for sure. The knockoff is just coming out. Okay, so Crabrawler is just spamming knockoffs into that slot. Really rough for us, to be honest. But I think that is probably still fine, though. Because we do get rid of the Intimidate that is off here. There might be a ground move that comes out now. I think now probably might be a pretty fine time to go for a... I think we're fucked here, actually. I think we are actually just cooked here. I think the Crabrawler just kind of runs away with things a bit now. But I will probably just go for that and the Protect as well. I think we're really in the mud now. With the Sandile Terra Fairy, the Crabbing Terra Ghost, we're pretty badly in the mud right now. The Noibat being Terra Water means it's may potentially be just Sash. There's no real amazing counterplay into that one. The Sandile could still potentially be Scarf because it's just clicked Rock Slide again. I don't think it's banded with the damage that it was doing. So we have the Iron Head there, so the Diglett does get another knock out there. And do we just see the Drain Punch? Yeah, so the Drain Punch is going to come out. It's going to go into the Diglett, so... a decent use of Terra there. I think we could have potentially Ice Sharded to knock out the Sandile there. But I still think we're pretty in the mud, all things considered. I don't see Flabebe going for an attack. I think Flabebe is probably going to want to protect. So I think we need to just swing both attacks into Crabrawler, maybe potentially get a flinch. Because this thing doesn't get Hypercutter here. So there is going to be a Terastallization as well. There could be a Terastallization from the Flabebe as well, which it is. That is maybe okay. Very, very uncertain, but maybe that's okay. I think we do need an Iron Head flinch here on the Crabrawler. That thing took that so damn well. We do live because we are Eviolite on the Sototl. But I think it's still curtain at this point. Yeah, the Flabebe is actually faster than the Sototl as well. I think it is faster, like, naturally. Or it has, like, a little bit of speed on it. But I know they're pretty close in terms of, like, speed there. That's a really rough game one. Yeah, I think... knowing that in hindsight now, knowing that the Snivy's slower is real bad. And that's really annoying because like that was like a big way to shut Noibat. Because we initially built to outspeed the Noibat, but one of the other coaches was like, you could probably make the Snivy bulkier, and It's biting us a little bit in the ass, but we're gonna have to deal with it. We're gonna have to like manage it a little bit. And I'm thinking if we have to do that, it may potentially have to be matching the Tailwind with the Swablu. And trying to maybe get that up using that. And having just like Espurr potentially on the lead as well. Espurr, Diglett on the lead. Or even like Sotodle Espurr on the... Nah, I don't think Sotodle is good as a lead. I think Sotodle is definitely better in the back. Unless we go for the... We could go for the same lead and go for like that Bulldoze Taunt. I don't like that as much though. I really don't like that as much. But we can do it to stop the Tailwind, but I think it's probably more worth it if we just match Tailwind ourselves. Which I think we can look at threatening to do if we lead Swablu and something that threatens Crabrawler, which I think the only thing on the team that does that is Espurr. It's gonna be rough to justify bringing Fuecoco, because Fuecoco is not the strongest, but it does have like good spread damage, kind of bulky as well. It might be the Pokemon to be in the 4th slot. As good as Diglett's rounds were, it's rough that we went with bulky Taunt Snivy instead of being fast. Because Snivy isn't too much faster than Noibat, like, at all either. Okay, so we do see the Crabrawler and the lead here from there. So he's seen the Life Orb, but he's going to see our Lumberry as well. So, what do we need to do to best protect our fellas here? I think protecting... It may just be going for like the Protect and Tailwind there. And if it goes south, it goes south. Really. The mistakes are entirely on us in changing that, swapping out that EV spread, not preparing for like the speed on the Noibat there. The Crabrawler could also potentially just throw out like an Ice Punch here. Oh my god, the Swablu is a little bit too slow. So knockoff's coming out there, which is nice. So we do take that. We might need to keep in mind for the Sandile as well. But we do get to match Tailwind here, which is pretty nice. I don't think there's anything really wanting to stop me going for like a Psyshock Helping Hand does like welcome in the Sandile. But I think Crabrawler it's a bit too much of a threat at the moment to kind of just ignore. But it may potentially protect here. We don't see a Terrestrialization, which is nice. And we don't see a Protect as well. So is Helping Hand Life Orb Psyshock enough to take it up? It is. Okay, that's good. Crabrawler down. Tailwind is matched. Espurr hopefully takes an Air Slash or from thing. Oh, there's a miss there as well. So we definitely do take that. Pretty rough to see those 95 accurate moves missing. Never a good feeling. We see the Flabebe out here now. I don't really think there's too much different I want to do. I think we could probably just go for attacks into Noibat here. I think I do want to Brave Bird it though, just to cover for Sash. And we see that down, so it doesn't even take it to Sash, so we don't even get to reveal that it is Sash. And Sash coming out, bouncing off Espurr. So we see the Swablu coming out there for the Breakbird there. That is enough to take that out, which is good. And what does the Flabebe want to do here? The Flabebe probably might want to go for like Dazzling Gleam or something. It does go for the Dazzling Gleam there. Espurr taking those hits like an absolute fucking animal. Last is probably Grim. Is that Bulbasaur? Okay, it is Bulbasaur. So there's no Sandar, which is like really nice for the gameplay here from our lads. We have a really good backline into this as well. So I think we probably just go for like a Helping Hand Psy Shock into the Flabebe. If the Flabebe Terrors, that's perfectly fine. Because we do have Fuecoco in the back. Fuecoco is pretty strong into these. We have Terra Grass as well to play around any kind of sleep powders that Bulbasaur may want to throw out. We do see a Terrestrialization from Ted here in the game too. It's going into the Bulbasaur. So the Bulbasaur is now a Fire type. So that's not amazing for specifically Fuecoco or specifically for Sotodle. But Sotodle we could probably just turn into a Fire type to resist the potential Terra Blast that can come out here. And yeah, Flabebe living that Helping Hand Psy Shock, pretty solid effort, not gonna lie. Flabebe is Citrus Berry, which is, I guess, a point to note. We see the Sludge Bomb coming out there from Bulbasaur. No choice item there. Flabebe actually gets a double knockout, which is quite humorous. Yeah, no item from Bulbasaur either, so not Life Orb, but could be a variety of, like, other potential items. So both Tailwinds are now petering out here. So it's just Sotodle and Fuecoco on each side respectively. I think the game plan is just going to Terrafire the Fuecoco. No, the the Sotodle, sorry. We're gonna Terrafire, probably throw like an Ice Shard out at Flabebe. And I think... What do we not? Hang on. We might not need to. Because we could always just go for like a Heat Wave as well. We could just High Horsepower and Heat Wave. I like that. Heat Wave will probably do like a decent bit of damage to them both. Bulbasaur being Terrafire means it doesn't have a ground move. We should be bulky enough on both ends to be able to just deal with it. So we got the Terrestrialization out here now. And we'll see how that one ends up going here. Flabebe protects, which is really nice for us. Do we see a protect from Bulbasaur as well? We see the Sleep Powder coming out from Bulbasaur. Okay, so it's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be one of those games, which isn't a problem. We do burn the guaranteed sleep turn. Thankfully, we didn't go for the Ice Shot there. We did go for the High Horsepower. And we get the Heat Wave coming out here from Fuecoco as well. I don't think these two have the strict muscle to be able to break through what we've got here. The Bulbasaur is leftovers. Okay, that's good to know. There's no way it's running like a Seed Set or anything like that. Surely not. But I think as things stand, I think we just keep going for the High Horsepowers and the Heat Waves. We do see a Helping Hand from the Bulbasaur. The Bulbasaur is going on the offense here. Going for the Sludge Bomb into the Sotodle. Sotodle absolutely taking that like a monster. Absolute monster. And we are going to see a Heat Wave come out. So that's enough to pick up the Flabebe. It's not enough to pick up the Flabebe, unfortunately. But Bulbasaur's going to continue to heal with the leftovers there. It's good information to know that we could probably pick that up with a Flamethrower in future games. We are going to see the Sleep Powder coming out here onto the Fuecoco now as well. Do we get the Wake Up here, or we sleep for another turn? Would not be nice if we were asleep for another turn here. We do Wake Up. Do we hit the High Horsepower is the question. We do hit the High Horsepower. Bulbasaur actually manages to hang on there, which is a bit rough. But we still look like we're in pretty solid spot. I'm probably going to go for a Ice Shard onto the Bulbasaur here and a Heat Wave. The Bulbasaur may not have Protect, and the Heat Wave is definitely going to be enough to sort of just keep pressuring these two. We do have the Ice Shard pick up there, which is really nice. So the Bulbasaur does go down. The Flabébé is going to be a bit limited to the damage it's going to be able to push out. It's got the Pollen Puff there, which does fail, so it's looking to heal up that Bulbasaur. So good thing that the Ice Shard is able to get that knockout. So total, just a little bit of a demon in that regard. I don't think we reveal any more moves. I think we just keep going for the Heat Wave there. And we fielded the Ice Shard from the Sotolo there. It's enough to take it out. So, pretty solid game to bounce back there. The Bulbasaur did slow down the end game there with some Sleep Powders. But Latias were able to push through and deal with that quite nicely. Air/Mist, definitely unfortunate. Just that any chip is good chip, even if it wasn't doing as much damage onto the Espurr. It's always just a good little hit there, so, you know, can't really complain too much about that. I think we may go for... Or communication error has occurred. Is that on Ted's end or mine? Okay, that's weird. So, I mean, we'll run it. So, this is the Game 3 here now. Tailwind still feels quite important. I think that 4 is probably going to be the 4 that gets us through this set. I think we just have to play the terrestrialization smart here, i.e. from what I'm feeling. Because I don't really want to lock Diglett into Bulldoze and then force it to switch just to get a taunt off on Noibat. That doesn't feel worth it. So I'm going to not do that. But I think we will manage as enough as we can. Like, if we do end up taking a loss, it's a 1-2 loss, which definitely isn't the end of the world. It's better than a 2-0 loss for sure. We see the same lead again going into the Game 3. I may potentially just go for a full rip into the Crabrawler turn 1, not gonna lie. Maybe we run like a cheeky calc? I hate doing calcs during sets. The Espurr and like Crabrawler. So if it's like Eviolite, we definitely do need the Helping Hand to take the knockout. But I think we could probably still go for just that swing. I do think getting a Tailwind up is so important. So that's what we're going to go for. Are we going to see like an Eviolite or anything? Do we see Bulky? No, we don't. Okay, brilliant. Alright, so Crabrawler does go down there. So we take a knockout and we get I think a Tailwind up pretty scot-free, not gonna lie. Yeah, so, yeah, Tailwind's matching again. Okay, so this is quite exceptional because we're a Pokemon up, as opposed to the previous game. So, let's have a look and see what the game plan is now. Because the Crabrawler could have been a Assault Vest, which is why Psyshock is pretty nice. The Sandile out here. The Sandile could be a Scarfer. I think I want to Protect here. And maybe have a look at... If I'm going for something, it would be like a Brave Bird, I think. And if I'm throwing out a Brave Bird, it's probably going to be into the Noibat. It could be also fine to like double Protect as well. I do think the Sandile is choiced in some way, shape, or form. So maybe a double Protect here isn't terrible either. Because last game it was just clicking Rock Slide and there was like opportunities where it didn't really need to click the Rock Slide. So I think getting information is nice. If it does lock into a Dark move, I think we will just rip Terrestrialization. But I think we rip Terrestrialization and attack the Noibat if that does end up happening. Okay, so it is just a Rock Slide again. Going into the double Protect here, obviously. And Noibat probably going to go for like an Air Slash, maybe into the Espurr as well. Yeah, that's exactly what happens there. Okay, so if that is the case, maybe we get away with the Helping Hand Energy Ball. The Sandal Terrestrialization is fairy. I don't think it goes for it. But if it does, Energy Ball is definitely our best move for it. I 1000% think we Helping Hand the Espurr as well. I want to be really convinced that the Sandal is choiced. I just don't know what way, shape, or form, but I do believe that it is choice. Just in the way how it was just clicking Rock Slides in that game 1. As opposed to other moves you could go for. But I'm thinking it's very likely also choice Scarfed if it is choiced as well. It's not choiced, okay. Well, it's not choice Scarfed at least. So we get a big Energy Ball, and that is Sandal down. So that's really good. Espurr absolutely pulling its money's worth in the game 2 and 3. Really nice stuff, as opposed to what happened in the game 1. That bounced off. That is still pretty nice for us. What is in the back? What is the 4th Pokemon there? It is the Flabebe here now. Flabebe looking like it's going to be in pretty rough city here. I think I'm just going to protect the Espurr and just go for the Brave Bird onto the Noibat. And then we know for a follow-up we can take out the Noibat, and then Flabebe doesn't really beat the Fuecoco that is in the back, so looks like a really strong Game 3 position for us now. With the adjustment that we had to be made with the Snivy being slower here. We do see a Terrestrialization, definitely something that was not considered going into it, but it's fine. It is the Terra Water into the Noibat. Which is fine, not a problem there at all. We do have the Terrestrialization options in the back for Fuecoco to be Terra Grass to go for that Terra Blast. And it's Assault Vest as well, so it takes those hits well. We see the Super Fang come out here on the Swablu. We're seeing a double attack into the Swablu, but we see the Swablu actually move before it. And we get good chip there with the Brave Bird. We see the Pollen Puff come out. That's going into the Espurr. So that probably is enough to be able to knock out the Espurr here. But I think how the position is at the moment, I think we are perfectly fine just to go for an Energy Ball into that Noibat and reset up the Tailwind there. Just to allow us to keep speed advantage with our slower Pokemon in the back, both being able to jump and outspeed Flabebe for a couple of turns. Really ideal for us for the... what's going to here to round out the Game 3. Ideally running through to clutch up the 2-1 victory. But we will see. So we do see a Protect coming out here from the Noibat there. That is perfectly fine. We do get the speed advantage, and the Swablu should be able to knock out the Noibat as well. Seeing the Brave Bird damage that came out on the previous turn. But I'm probably going to bring in the Sotodle and definitely just put it in range if the Espurr doesn't take this hit. It doesn't. Espurr, honestly, brilliant job. Absolutely cleaned the way for our backline to come in and win the game here. So it's going to be Sotodle here, and I think it's just going to be an Ice Shard Brave Bird into the Swablu. There isn't really too much wiggle room that Ted has in regards to that, so I feel that is perfectly fine. Going to get the knockout there. And I think we're going to be running away with it. Despite the rocky start that we had with the Snivy not being faster than the Noibat, definitely a bit of oversight in regards to the advice I was given, plus myself reflecting over like the team as well. Shouldn't really put any of like the pressure or blame on anyone else. It's up to me to check these things at the end of the day. And it was an oversight, but fortunately we were able to come through that one and still get ourselves in a very strong spot regardless. So the Flabebe does get the second knockout there. We're going into the Fuecoco now, and it's kind of going to be Curtain at this point here. I think we're just going to go for the Protect here and just go for a Flamethrower onto that. What are we looking to do here? We're going to try and get we're trying to get the last kill to a Sotodle. That did 50%, but it does activate the Citrus Berry as well. Will be interesting to see what the Flabebe wants to go for. It may just be a Dazzling Gleam. This Dazzling Gleam is probably going to bounce off the Fuecoco, for sure. Yeah, look at that. Absolutely no damage there at all. So we should be good just to run through and take this with a very solid 2-1 win. So that's nice. Just waiting for the last turn to play out now. We see the Ice Spinner come out there. Isn't enough to get the knockout from there. No, it is not. The Flabebe is very physically bulky, but the Flamethrower from Fuecoco will definitely pick it up. So that is it. We do get the 2-1 victory over Ted. That's really good for us going into the last week. So I will give a small bit of a rundown of what's happened thus far. First of all, GG's to Ted. Thank you for the game. It was definitely an eye-opener after game 1, for sure. But with that said, we'll do a bit of a spiel going into what to be round 7. So round 7, we have a coach that was formerly undefeated until last week. They lost to Ollie in Ryan. So Ryan's definitely going to be a tough match. He's got a very strong team. We'll go through more of that next week. But that could potentially be a battle for second place. I'm not sure how eMburst has went this week. But eMburst was the coach that beat us. I didn't really give the appropriate credit to eMburst as I probably should have, just being tired and all, but he prepped and played very well. Can't really take that away from someone when they do that, so yeah, just kudos to him once again. I'm not too sure on what eMburst's record is. If they did win week 6, they are in pretty good contention to run away with top seed going into finals after the 7 weeks. And yeah, I think with that win, I think we guarantee ourselves a spot in finals as well, which is pretty exciting, which means more content. Which I'm sure like the five guys watching are gonna be popping off, cracking a coldie, I'd imagine. So good stuff. Alrighty, we will be back with week 7 versus Ryan.